Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to What the Duck. It's been a long time since we did one of these. It is now April. Last one was January 4th. This is episode number 45. So this is the second episode of the year. Welcome.
What's wrong with you, dude? Shit.
So here we are. We've got some familiar faces and some of the folks that I think, Jenkins, this is your first time on a What the Duck, yeah?
It is. I'm a first timer.
All right. Well, how exciting. Then, of course, we've got Moxie as well as Malistrix joining us as well. So it's been so long. I vote, let's talk about Dream League. That feels like ancient history now, but a couple of you guys were over there. So I want to talk about the Swedish experience while we have the chance.
Everyone is very tall.
Yes. Go, Moxie.
Yes, everyone is very tall. And the suites are fantastic. The Dota was great. It was a good time.
Okay, that's it? That was your first dream?
Wow.
It sounds good. Sounds great.
Come on, Mox.
No, you got to warm them up. You got to start off small and then build up. So I'm handing it off to you, Jake.
Oh, God. All right. Dream League was pretty hype. I think they did a major last season, and it was pretty bare bonesy kind of major where there was a very small audience. The stage was just like basically 2 booths. They hired like 7 people for the entire thing. I think they really stepped it up this time. I was pretty surprised by that thread that came out after Dream League. And I'm not just saying this kind of shit because they literally pay me. I actually thought it was a really good event. And then that thread came out that was like, oh, this is such a piece of shit compared to ESL. I mean, I don't know. I will say a lot of people... Some people like Dream League because we put on the same show that we always did. And some people really hated it because they were like, this is a major. Why is Bulldog and Slacks on the panel? I can't blame them for that. But at the same time, I feel like it's good to have variety in the scene where everything doesn't have to be an ESL event. Because that gets boring, in my opinion. But
it does. I agree.
I don't know. I think watching that event, it feels brutal for talent because there aren't a lot of yous. And you guys are doing 3-person panels, and I think if you're an audience member and you don't like one of the people that's on that panel, the whole thing is kind of ruined for you because there's no buffer, there's no 4th person, there's no real swapping out. You know, if you don't like Slacks and you're watching Dream League, you're kind of fucked. There's a lot of Slacks. You know, if you don't like Moxie, there's a lot of Moxie. You know, it goes for any talent because it's such a small pool. What do you think, Slacks? I mean, it's the opposite of PGL. Last major that we went to, I think they had 24 English talent at the super major, something like that. So it's a world of difference.
I mean, it is. And variety is always amazing. You want as much variety as possible in these tournaments. But then again, variety means money. And in how the current Dota 2 tournaments are, put together, you're not getting any money because you're spending it all on prize pool and you're not making any money from the tournament in itself. So... yeah, I think that's not going to stop. You're not going to see more people get hired to events. If anything, I think you're going to see less and less and have these big boy events kind of just have whoever they can get there for, cheap as possible. So sad state of where Dota's at right now, in my opinion.
No. I really like the fact that it's a smaller group, though. I think that, like, it's a really good experience for the talent. Maybe not so much in that you're constantly, on screen and, on the couch or casting or whatever, but I feel like you really get to know each other really well, which is kind of neat because, again, this was my first, live interaction with, like, a crowd sort of thing. Usually, it's just the players in the booths or what have not. But I really kind of like the feeling of getting to know each other really well, having a bonding experience. I don't know. All I have in my brain is I just hear Jake screaming at me to hit the rage creep like nonstop. That has literally haunted my dreams now, spending that much time with it.
Oh yeah, you guys were playing a lot. I was seeing a lot of pics of you guys just 5-stacking. How was that? Were you playing unranked or what?
Yeah. We had a couple LAN parties, but I got overly angry at Moxie, and I know I could be a little toxic sometimes in Dota games. Excuse me, shut up, Lawrence. I'm not toxic at all, you idiot. We were laning together. Moxie, I'm sorry to tell this story, but she was the Underlord, and I was laning with her, and I saw the ranged creep get denied by the enemy 5 times, and I fucking exploded on the 5th one. I was like, on the 3rd one, I'm like, hey, Mox, we can't let him deny those ranged creep, Mox. Mox, we can't do this. Mox! And then on the 5th one, I'm like, the fucking range creep! And we're in like a LAN cafe. People were like, Jesus Christ. One
the guy came and told you to stop yelling. 5? It's
too many, Mox.
I don't play core.
Jenkins,
like never play Underlord.
five range creeps. Tell me you would be able to handle it. Tell me you could keep it together.
That's pretty rough. But who were you playing?
I don't
point.
remember.
Like
I was
I think.
Because technically speaking, you were Lion.
Yes.
Technically speaking, you see a lot of Lions like they stun for the range creep. Like technically, like I'm just saying, like objectively speaking, that is a play that is made. So technically, it's on. You know, it's a little. It's 50-50. It's 50-50.
Okay, 50-50. Got it. Anyway, I'm still angry just thinking about it. But
Dude, I'm still traumatized from it. I still hear you. I was playing a pub the other night. I just hear you screaming in my ear. I'm not even playing core. I'm playing support. I'm like, the fucking range creep.
See, but that's good. That's good for your life, Mox.
Oh no, it's not. I'm losing hair. I'm losing hair over this dude.
It's good. It's like negative reinforcement. It'll make you'll get all the range creeps in the future now.
And then my core will start pinging me like angrily, like stop fucking taking my range creeps.
It's the new Merlini lyrical. The one time Merlini's actually been tilted. Hey, you need to just not talk to me right now. One of the most epic explosions behind the scenes. I wasn't even there. I think they were playing a pub game and Lyrical threw something really bad that seemed unwinnable, and Merlini actually just exploded. And after the game, when they tried to have friend time, Gabe came up to him and he just said, dude, you need to just not talk to me right now.
Oh my god.
And you can like hear that in Merlini's voice. You know, it's like those exact words.
I know the story of this. This is actually the game that got him to quit Dota.
Yeah.
I remember that. He was playing with Blitz and he's like, I'm done. I'm done with Dota. I remember that game now. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened in the game to make him quit?
Just Lyrical.
I can't remember. I don't remember the details of what hero he was playing, but feeding on epic proportions. You know, the kind of, guys, I'm core. Don't worry, I got my BKB. Ah, fuck, they killed me before I used my BKB. You know, that kind of shit.
Oh my god.
That sounds like Gabe.
So,
poor guy.
So that's it though. That's all you guys got for Dream League. Nothing else.
I mean, yeah. In the end, I thought it was a good tournament. I see where Moxie's coming from. Sometimes having those small panels that work together, kind of build that community. I think we saw that in Chongqing. Didn't go to that tournament for
Chongqing.
Chongqing.
It's too close to me. There's a reason I denied that invite, and I don't want to get close to that. That major. You saw, like, you know, they had that panel that came on every time, and they kind of built that repertoire, and it was fun seeing those small things. So I think Moxie's a little right. But overall, I loved the tourney. I thought it was really good.
What about the arena?
Would have been nice.
Did that live up to the expectations? What, the annex set or whatever?
No, I thought it was the Anexit.
Yeah, I thought it was hype. It was hype being because like the caster's booth was actually like on top of the player booth. So you're up really, really high. I thought I was gonna die several times. I slipped on those stairs a couple times too, and I was like, this is it. This is how I die. This is my last Dota event ever. But it's really cool to be able to look over the side and just see everybody out there. And they all got their little signs and stuff, which is super cool. And some of them are even about you, and you're like, wow, what did I do to deserve a sign? That makes no sense. And then, you know, you can look down and see the stage. I thought it was super great, and like it wasn't so big that it was overwhelming. I think they said it was kind of like Benroya, right? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah,
like it's a smaller, like more intimate group, kind of like Boston too, the Boston major. I liked it a lot. I thought it was great. We had like a nice line when we were doing the meet and greets and stuff. Lots of like fans, but not like so many that you're like exhausted by the end of it.
Dude, I think the real problem is these tournaments need to fucking give up on VIP tickets. That shit is the biggest scam, bad PR. It's a trap every single time. It's either a neutral or a negative experience. I don't think I've ever seen a post of someone like, wow, I'm so glad I spent $500 on tickets. I met all my favorite players. I got such a great goodie bag. It's always like, yeah, it was all right, or that really fucking sucked. I'm never going to buy that again. You know, like, isn't that the number one thing that gets messed up by tournaments consistently? The VIP ticket experience. You get the Red Bull Lounge, a beanbag to watch the games. Wow. We'll give you some free Red Bull, sport.
There was one good one. I remember ESL Frankfurt. They gave out free beer with that VIP.
Dude.
I remember.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah, I stole you a golden ticket, Zyore, and I gave it to you, and your review was pretty good.
Dude,
on that
okay.
golden ticket.
That event was pretty. I remember I was in the VIP section. I asked a few of the other VIP golden ticket holders if they felt it was value, and they said, well, the all-you-can-drink beer is pretty good, but the problem is I've been drinking so much beer that I pass out every day, so I keep missing some of the games.
Oh my God.
He said, we did the math, and to get the value, it's not worth the level of drunkenness you have to get to realize the value of the ticket. So unlimited beer is actually a little bit more of a trap than it seems at face value, but I enjoyed it. As a free ticket, it was incredible. I mean, I loved it. But
yeah, that was a story. You know, basically, ESL was like, hey, man, nobody's getting these golden tickets, okay? Don't give them out to your friends or anything. Zyore's like, hey, I'm in town. Can you get me in? And I'm just walking by, and I just grab the lanyard. And I'm just like, he's a VIP guest.
Dude. Don't
tell ESL that shit. Don't be
Dude, I remember trying to find you at that event, and we kept saying, I'm near the pillar. And there were 4 pillars, one on each corner of the venue. So we kept saying, oh, I'm at the one, I think it's the south one. And of course, neither of us know which direction is south or north, and it was a real cluster. Man, those were back in the day, the stadiums.
How do you even make a VIP ticket worth it? I feel like people want interaction with like the players and the talent, but everybody's so busy during a tournament that it's not reasonable to like interact with people while you're trying to play.
Yeah,
or cast.
Especially, like we were talking about with the tournaments as they are now, you're gonna hire less and less people. I remember at Mox at Dream League, we were like, okay, well, we could do a signing session during game 1, but we have to be on the panel for game 2, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and it's just a cost, you know.
Yeah, like you want to do it, but you just can't.
Yeah.
I don't know any Dota personality that doesn't want to do fan interaction shit. Maybe Lawrence.
Right.
But,
it's a good question though. Like, how could you actually fix the VIP experience? I mean, preferential seating is usually one thing, but honestly, the screens are so big. Usually, the seating is good.
You don't want to sit at the front.
Everywhere.
I think you have to be like you have to go to like where the players eat, but then the players don't want to be disturbed, so you end up adding another division. So basically, VIP. What about the Red Bull seats? Or those seats where you get like a special seats? Those are quite good.
I mean, it can be all right.
Or Monster Energy.
If Red Bull's hooking it up, I mean, I'm not against it, but it depends on. I think it's all about the cost-value analysis. You know, how much is a beanbag worth really when you could just bring a little pillow yourself to sit on? You know, if you
that's what I do these days, dude.
You know,
yeah, but then you're that loser who brings a pillow to the event.
I fly with a pillow international now. I just carry that shit on, walk around the airport. People look at you, but they do that anyway.
I had people looking at me the other day. So, like a week ago, I got my gun license, and it's not because I listen. It's not because
Jenkins is gonna kill us all.
No. It's not because of that. It's because number one, I don't have a great relationship with my brother, and he wanted to do it, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do the adult thing. I'm gonna go do this. Also.
Great bonding experience.
I thought that was going to be a much different story. I have a great relationship with my brother. I'm going to fucking shoot him. No, but continue.
One of these days. But anyway, so, we go to this gun thing. It's like a 2-day class. Did you know that you can just get all the guns in Canada if you just go to 2 days of classes? Like, I can just get a gun. I can just get a gun now if I wanted to.
Well, yeah, that's how it works.
It's actually easy to get guns here.
Someone clip this without context. Go.
Anyway, so I brought a pillow, and like all the people that you would expect to be going to get a gun license, they were there, like the hillbilly. Like, dude, I remember there's this conversation. This guy was showing another guy turkey on his phone. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, that turkey's got some girth to it. Oh, she's real girthy. Like, they're really getting on. Because they're like hunters and stuff, right? So I was sitting right by the door, and every single time somebody walked out and they saw the pillow next to me, because sometimes, I move it because it's not, you got to adjust, right? And every time when somebody went out to use the bathroom, do their business, somebody be like, somebody brought a pillow to a gun, whatever. And it's like, fuck, it's my pillow, dude. I got a herniated disc, you bastard.
Yeah.
I had to explain
I bet you told him, didn't you? You told it to all of them, did you?
I did, because you don't understand unless you have issues with your downstairs area. You know what I'm talking about? Like, sometimes you've got issues going on down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to sit on a pillow. What's so fucking weird about a pillow?
Nothing.
Just because they're talking about how girthy fucking turkeys
are. We're all agreeing with you because you can get a gun now.
like turkey, like fucking jerking off to each other's turkeys Oh, fuck.
So what kind of gun are you gonna get? That's the real question. You gonna get a Magnum?
I'm not getting a gun. I'm not getting. Actually, if I was gonna get a gun, I'd get a Magnum. But I'm not getting a gun, dude.
Dude, get a Desert Eagle. It's very practical. If somebody breaks in, you can get him in one shot. You see.
Hell
dude,
yeah.
The guy that was doing the what's it called? The teacher. He told us that he shot a Desert Eagle and his arm went numb for like 3 days.
Dude, what a pussy! Are you kidding me? That's horseshit. That guy is made out of glass.
We shot a Desert Eagle. Me and Sayori last time we were at the 5280.
I mean, it hurts a little bit, but like.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the guy had like diabetes. And you know.
He was barely hanging on as it was.
He was right. He was a larger gentleman. You know. He was struggling to carry the gun cases.
He was a girthy turkey, if we have to be that way.
Oh, he was hilarious.
Is that our new thing, girthy turkey?
That's what I'm calling Mr. Roo from now on.
I couldn't believe it. These people were like just perfect like stereotypes of what you would expect, and then just me, confused as fuck and scared of picking up the guns. They were like fake guns. Anyway.
Yeah, but.
Well, good on you.
The pillow.
So VIP tickets, we should we should figure that out for Midas mode, right?
I got plans. People always get this shit wrong, you know. They think they know what VIPs want. VIPs want to sit in the fucking Red Bull area. I mean, it's cool, but what VIPs really want is to try to be part of the show as much as possible. Give them a backstage tour. Let them sit in the booths for a little bit, you know. Actually make a video and post it on the official Twitter. That kind of shit's what a VIP wants. So we'll get it right. We'll do it.
Slacks, the real answer is that we're not going to have VIP tickets because everything is going to be a VIP ticket.
Oh, that sounds lame as fuck, but all right.
It's a VIP experience, you fuck. There's no separation.
We're all equal.
Anyway.
Very good. Cool.
Yeah. I guess that's a wrap up from Dream League. Anything else? What about the Dota? Does anyone care about that?
That was so long ago. Those teams are irrelevant now.
Gaming. The first, wow.
Well, one of them is.
Jesus.
Team to make it through the minor all the way to the major. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
The Valve system finally realized. Unlike TNC Tigers, who just lost to a pub team from the last Dream League minor. Whoops. But, VG was looking good.
Yeah,
China back.
So VG...
They're so excited when they win. They have so much emotion. They're very, very happy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I will say that.
They just don't emote at all. They're like, oh, we won. That's, wow, okay, cool. And then you see Vici and they're like, yeah, like so excited. You see ROTK slap one of them upside the head.
Yeah. That team, take it from me. If you want to be a fan of a Chinese team and you don't really know anything about China, Vici Gaming are fucking hype. They actually like enjoy interviews. They go out there, they're screaming, they're yelling. That team is absolutely my favorite Chinese team right now. I love them. Those post-game interviews, we did like this post-show after the thing, and they were fucking hilarious. They were great. So, good team. Glad they won. Who's the winner now?
What?
Who's what?
Who's good Dota team now?
It's hard to say because it's just qualifiers since Dream League, right? So, like,
yeah.
It's really hard to say with qualifiers.
So... Looking
still
at,
the same.
Let's talk about MDL, I guess, because those qualifiers are done now. So we know almost who's going to be at the next major. Everyone except the team that wins the Dota Pit Minor, which is actually pretty close. That starts on the 22nd, so it's exactly 2 weeks away. Hopefully they have a talent announcement soon. Boy, would that be interesting.
You know what I do love a lot? The Dota Plus app. Because I always bet the worst odds. I mean, the best odds. I don't even look at the fucking teams. And anytime I see a team win, I'm like, oh shit, that other team sucks. Goblin Legs just beat Alliance. What the fuck? And it's like, it's so useful because now you know who like the shittiest teams are. I get an alert and it's like, oh shit, Sexy as fuck just beat Na'Vi. Oh no. And it's great. Very useful if you're a personality. They need to give us Dota Plus for free, I think.
Well, that would defeat the purpose of why it was created, so I doubt that's going to happen. Artifact wasn't even free, for Christ's sake, man. You think Dota Plus is going to be free?
Don't say the A word.
Name.
Don't say the A word. It makes him very upset.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. He's wearing the shirt, dude. You think he's going to get away with that? Fuck no.
Anyway, well, we're talking about the qualifiers. Anything interesting there, peeps?
Team qualified. That's interesting.
Yay!
Yeah.
Go Brax.
Yeah,
Brax, one of us. One of us.
we get a cut of his his winnings, right? Because he's Moonduck.
Yeah, I think it was
He's
it
owned by
10%,
Moonduck,
right? Because that makes sense.
90%.
No, just kidding, folks. There's no cut there. Team.
I remember.
So IX Mike at a major, that's pretty cool. And Jenkins' old buddy Newsham also going to be at a major.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Is that relationship still cool, or do you guys hate each other?
We hate each other. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so right after he wins the major, he messages me, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, I don't know, he's just super excited and like bragging, or he's just getting real excited with me, and he's asking me for just money that I owe him because he needs to pay rent. And it's like, dude, what the fuck, man? Congratulations or whatever. He's like, yeah, you're gonna need to PayPal me that $100.
Jesus.
Come on, like we smoked the weed together, like what the hell, man?
Clearly, he needs some new shoes or something for that major. He's got to get spiffied up.
He does.
It's going to be a hell of a major, though. Basically, every top team you'd want, I think. Chaos Esports Club makes it. So, going to see some South American action. Misery and Wii joining the Disneyland.
I like how you pick the two people that aren't South American on the South American team.
Shut up, Mox.
Well,
what do you know about South America?
yeah,
I know nothing.
That's why they stand out to me, because they're foreigners in the region.
Got a lot of foreigners in different regions right now.
That is true.
Of course, we're skipping over the big one. Eternal Envy, who is on Team, turns out.
Yes.
Me and Ziori were at a venue researching Midas stuff, and we looked at the screen. We're like, is that Envy? What's he doing? It's happening, boys. The dream didn't die. Good for him, I say.
I can't believe it.
It's like a scrappy bunch of anime characters coming together to take down a Disneyland. Like, it's like the perfect time to have some sort of like storyline with like, oh my god.
I mean, I guess you could argue that like, forward they just got a new roster with like you change 2 players on a roster and it's like completely different. But J-Storm, like Team beat J-Storm. That's just the same roster that's gone to like 3 majors now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't predict what Eternal Envy's gonna do.
It's just like
predict the unpredictable.
They got Gunner like 2 weeks ago, and then they got Eternal Envy literally like the day before the major, and then they qualify for it. Dude, Newsham was message. I don't know if this is fucking insider information, but I don't care. But Newsham was messaging me before, and he was just like joking, asking if I wanted to play ability draft at like 5 a.m. because he thought he literally was like, oh, we're gonna lose to J-Storm tomorrow, so I don't care. And then he just goes and fucking qualifies. I don't understand.
That's not inside information. That's just revealing shit about your friend for no reason.
I mean, he does it to me. So he can fuck himself.
But no, NA's pretty hype right now. It's like EG and Complexity are both looking good, and then it's pretty competitive for that 3rd slot. And now Team is hot. But Vega Academy has an NA team. That's kind of interesting. Would not have expected that.
Who's on that team? I saw that.
Yeah.
Who's on that team?
Andrew.
So it's ASAP, Raffle X, Steel Borko, Mindgate, the Bear Farron, and Shu.
The Bear Farron. What a name.
Shu.
There's a man called Shu.
One of them's Canadian, 3 Americans, and one player from Kazakhstan. Steel's from Kazakhstan. So I'm sure that's great with ping for the scrims.
He's a UBC student, I think. I pubbed into him.
All right, that's good. That makes more sense.
Shu.
He's a PR.
That.
You like Shu? Okay.
He's my boy. I always latch on to one specific player.
For
I'm rooting for Shu.
No reason. That's great.
Jenkins, what happened to Sammy Boy on Team? Because he was like really funny. Tell us the scoop. Why did he go?
Oh my god.
What do you mean he's funny? What does that mean?
You're such a troll.
Interesting. Like when we did the minor video, he was like talking young speak and just being hip, and he just seemed like the most energetic of the bunch.
Young speak.
I did inverted commas, but yeah, he's just kind of energetic and funny.
He's he's like that.
Why does he go? I'm gonna miss him now. He was like so exciting to talk to.
To be honest, most people in North America don't like him because he's very toxic in pubs.
Oh.
So I think he's gonna need to do some what's the word?
Reflection,
soul searching,
soul searching. Yeah, and then maybe in a. I mean, he's good. Like he's a good player. Not a great teammate, but he's a good player.
He's not a great teamer, but he's a good player. Okay.
He's a good player. He's good at Dota. He knows the game. Like, he can tell you what to do, but he'll also tell you to like go fuck your mother and stuff, unironically in games. That's always. That's always an issue.
That's scar you.
Oh well.
Wow.
But you know.
So do you guys think Team's actually going to be good? Do you think they're actually going to go there anywhere, or is their great accomplishment just making it to the major?
I think they are. I think like okay, if you look at Brax, he's like rank 3 on the leaderboard, and Brax has been sitting at like rank 50, 60 for quite some time. So he's like he has like blown up something has clicked for him. You know what I mean? And then Gunnar as well. Gunnar's like a rank 20, 30 player, and he's ranked like 2 now. Yeah, and then they have Eternal Envy, who's like obviously got the experience. New Sham's like ranked 60 as a support. So like all of them, and I know it's like pub MMR, it doesn't matter. But if you look at like Uar before he blew up in pubs, he was just fucking destroying everybody. Rank like 10 when he was usually like top 100. Like these people, something just clicks with them, and they just get way better, and everything is much easier for them. And for Team, like everything just seems to have clicked at once because they're all like legitimately really good now. And then a lot of the people that were in the top 10 have kind of like fallen off. Like they're, rank 50, 60. And then the teams that they're on are also kind of terrible. Not to name names.
That's one thing that I noticed at Dream League. A lot of these top teams that we expect to be like super performing are like, I don't know what's going on with them lately. Yeah. I guess a lot of them are already guaranteed TI invites, so they're kind of being lazy a little bit. But
I think there's like a bit of the complacency. And then also in Dota, it's like if you're not abusing these little tiny like nuances and tactics, you will lose 100% of the time to the teams that are. Like, I saw the other day when casting Dota Pit, like, with Darkseer, people are, like, double iron shelling the first wave that you can't even creep cut, but they're creep cutting it with a support. Then the 5-roll teepees. Then they double up the second wave and use 1 iron shell to clear it and then go get a bottle. And every single game, it's that exact same thing with that exact same team. And it's like, that single nuance is the reason that Darkseer is good. And like nothing else. And it's like, but that takes so much fucking effort to do that. Like, I'm not going to go do that in a pub. That's so much effort. It's like, bang, get over here. Bang, get over here. We're cutting the first one. Like, nobody's going to do that in a pub. Like, it takes a lot of effort. Even in competitive, that takes like a shitload of effort. And to do that on top of like everything else.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Don't do that shit in a pub. I was playing fucking Mars the other day, and some goddamn Darkseer comes up, and he's just cutting waves for 8 fucking minutes. I was level 3. He was level 3. The enemies were like level 6. I'm like, what are you doing? What is this? He's like, saw it in a pro game, dude. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Saw this in a pro game, dude.
Fucking hate it.
They've been doing it in a lot of pro games. Can confirm from the Dota Pit qualifiers. It's pretty good. Darkseer does it really well. Centaur also pretty good because the retaliate. If you do that thing where you like draft an Enigma, you buy double Stout Shield, and Enigma gets 2 rings of regen, pulls him over,
stupid.
you cut the
so
lane,
stupid.
you have all this extra regen plus your tangos and the 2 shields. It's actually fucking sick. And then you give him back to the Enigma.
It's nuts.
He builds a soul ring.
Ugh. Pro games are weird right now.
Well, usually they're doing like a Dom rush with that, where like 3 minutes in, Enigma has a Dominator. There's a Bounty Hunter with 2 Stout Shields and apparently like Vanguard regen in the lane. And then Enigma shows up with like a creep running at your tower at 3 minutes in. It's like, well, what do I do?
Yep.
Like
exactly.
pro teams actually
weird,
just,
bro.
It's so weird. It's so weird right now. And it's like, if you don't abuse these things, you just lose to the teams that do.
Yeah. Great point. Very sad, though. Where's that classic 5-man team fight excellence that we saw in the last year? That's gone. Now we're just Enigma, Helm of the Dominator, 3 minutes. That's life now. It's fucking great.
It really is.
Anyway.
All right.
What else we got?
Well, let's talk about Dota Pit. How about that one? That is the most recent Dota content we've got. It just finished yesterday, actually. And it was a hell of a qualifier. So I guess the real drama to start this one off was the PPD tweet. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but Peter was at it again. So originally Dota Pit had planned to do all single elimination qualifiers. So across all regions, just a quick, 8-team single elim, one and done. That's it. It's like, 4 plus it's 7 BO3s total. That decides who goes. So Peter realizes, well, in the regions where 2 teams qualify, that's pretty fucked. You're basically winning 2 best-of-3s, and you qualify. So they apparently got word from Valve that regions with 2 teams qualifying had to, at the very minimum, be double elimination. Of course, this happened less than 12 hours before the qualifiers were supposed to start. So China was also the first region, which was a region that had 2 teams qualifying, of course. So all this stuff got doubled up. We had all these games at once after making a caster schedule. The entire lower bracket was all best of ones. So even though they technically had a lower bracket, it was, I don't know, interesting to say the least, intense. A lot of drawn out 60-minute alliance games as they battled their way through the lower bracket. It was brutal. And then yesterday we got plagued with Steam issues. So, yeah, it was quite the grind, but we looking in shape for a good minor.
I didn't realize that Valve actually told them to do that. I thought it was just a PPD tweet.
No,
That's
there was official decree in there. They said, you know what, you're right, Peter. This is a good call. And they stepped in.
Yeah, are we living in the timeline where PPD is the Dota 2 community manager? That's fucked. We're in trouble. This is not good.
I mean.
Oy.
They need to
He's
just
very good at it, though. He is good at doing it. He knows exactly what to say, and he always has no fear.
I mean, I don't think he was wrong.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of dumb to win 2 best of 3s and go to a minor. That doesn't quite seem right. However, I'd also say at the same time, it would have been nice for those parameters to be laid out. You know, this is the classic Valve ecosystem where they just kind of let it go. Everybody min-maxes it, and then somebody pushes it too far, and they're like, all right, dude, you got to play more than 2 games for the qualifier, all right? We're already giving you a lot of leeway, and, you know, this is the byproduct of not having any kind of a rubric or standard and just trusting everybody to, quote, do the right thing.
If I remember correctly, the rules were you just had to have a slot for every team, and how you do the qualifier is up to you. So I think they may be.
I think that's, to my knowledge, that's kind of how it was. There weren't many more details communicated outside of that.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's nice sometimes, but then you get those situations where, you're taking away DPC points from some teams and other teams you're not, just because one guy complained about it one time, and then it's a real pain in the ass. I don't know. Least amount of effort for them, though. Can't have a rule book, because then you'll have to follow the rules. The typical Valve fucking way that they do it. So,
yeah.
Understandable.
I guess. Anyway, so 8 teams for the minor. We got NIP Alliance, Forward Gaming, Pacific Esports from South America, Gambit Esports from CIS, Boom ID from Southeast Asia, and then China, it's Royal, Never Give Up, and eHome. Pretty good set of teams, actually.
That's a really good team for minor, I think.
I love Royal Never Give Up. That's one of my favorite teams. It's so many fucking shards from that team.
Yeah? Do you know any of their players?
King. Hell no. Who cares? All I know is that they never give up.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, the last minor, or one of the minors, actually, Dream League minor, I remember Royal Never Give Up was in it, and we had an 84-minute long game, 83-minute long game with them. They did not give up. Nope.
They're really good. They're the only Chinese team in the qualifier that was basically taking risks. A lot of the other teams were, anytime they're behind, they just wouldn't make plays because they were scared. But Royal, when they're ahead, they would just sit and wait for them to acquire a massive gold lead. But RNG just fucking would run into the base and fight, which is super not what you would expect in that region. But they would. So it made it a lot more interesting.
What do you guys think about this new forward team? Yawar, CCNC, Snake King, MSS, and KitTrack with AUI 2000 as the coach.
I've had my heart broken many times by those people, but continue. Go ahead, Jenkins.
I mean, KitTrack is one of those random kind of captain 5-role-esque guys that's friends with everybody in the scene, and you just you would have expected him to be on a team like that earlier, with how many people think that he's good in the top echelon of Dota, I guess. And CCNC, I think he's also the type of guy. He's been relatively tier 1, tier 1.5 players ever since he played with Peter. He's been one of the best mids in NA. And I think he was just waiting for the right team. And Forward, obviously, they're probably paying him a huge salary, and they were winning lots of shit, so that sounds like the right team. But he's good. He's really good. They're both good. It'll take them a while to mesh together, though. That's always how it is.
I think for me, NIP and Gambit would be my predicted kind of grand finals matchup, not knowing what the format is for the LAN or anything like that. I don't know what to make of Alliance right now. They looked shaky in the qualifiers. NIP, I think, looked much better. Alliance is having this issue where all of their games are going 50 minutes. Doesn't seem to matter what's happening. Some of that is lower bracket mentality, you know, best of ones, but they play so safe where it's like, all right, guys, you got 30K advantage. You got 2 cheeses. Let's just try the high ground and see how it goes. Come on. You know, it's like those kind of games where it's almost frustrating to watch. They're really in an odd place right now. I'm glad they qualified, but it's interesting to see if they can figure out whatever that kink is once the minor actually starts.
That's honestly how a lot of the Chinese teams are playing right now too. I'm not sure if people are just like really scared of pushing high ground or what, but it seems like people aren't willing to take any risks at all when they're ahead for whatever reason, just because it's like, well, fuck it, we can just farm and we'll win eventually. But then it's like you leave open that opportunity to throw if you do that.
Yeah, and we like the really good teams when they're on fire, like Secret and shit. That's what they do. They get ahead and then they're just like, let's go 20 minutes, and it's fucking sick. And it's I think that's like the biggest way to tell if someone's like tier 1 or tier 2 right now. If they're tier 1, they go. They like destroy, and it's you're so right. Tier 2 teams they're sitting around, but Alliance though, their fucking guys, I am not kidding around, are some of my favorite dudes in the esports scene right now. I want that team to be good so bad. Yeah. Everybody on that team is so nice. They're so funny, and it's just God. If they could just play a little bit of better Dota, they would be so cool to have in our scene. But still sucking. But
they were one of the first that actually like introduced themselves to me. Like one of my first events, actually. I was like had no idea who people really were. I think it was actually Vegas, and they actually like let me go sit with them. They talked to me. Like I'm super down with the Alliance guys. Like. Means a lot when people are friendly. I think it was like them and Complexity were like really personable and very, very friendly, which is awesome. So yeah, I'd love to see these guys do better, but got some work to do.
So is Madara's on their team, right? Is he?
Yeah, he's a sub for Mickey.
He's a sub?
Injured. Yeah.
Okay. So he's officially a sub.
Yeah, so Mickey has this repetitive injury in his wrist. He had an operation, so I think it just came back. So then they got standing.
Madara's okay. That's unfortunate.
Didn't he beat a bunch of his former teammates too, like throughout the qualifier as well? Like I thought that was like kind of a neat storyline that he went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He faced his Greeks and he's Spartan, right?
Goblin legs, boy.
I miss Spartan.
Cards. Fucking A, Goblin legs.
What the hell, Goblin legs?
Dude, they've got the greatest logo ever. It's Timbersaw and then just a leg under it.
It's amazing.
It's pretty dank.
Sexy as fuck, pretty okay, but Goblin legs, top tier. I will say, mark my words, clip this for 3 years down the line. As soon as Insania gets a little bit better at Dota, he's going to be a top tier. He's going to be like the new PPD dude. He's got such a fucking cool personality. Insania is like one of my favorite pro players.
Very social.
As soon as he's good, he's going to be like TI panelist material, bro. He'll get there. Yeah, I'm waiting, Insania.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know, dude. I think Cube is the real sleeper, as Method Quando is pointing on Twitch chat. I don't know if you guys have seen this guy. This dude is so good. Every single team first phases Pudge against him no matter what. This guy
he's the best Pudge in the world, like period.
Like actually, I think everyone I've talked to has said exactly those words, that this guy is undisputed best Pudge. His win rate over like 2,000 games, I think, is 57%, something like that.
Ooh,
which is
2,000 games.
Bananas. And it's like somewhere around 2K. I forget the exact number. But he also plays a really mean Earthshaker. He's got a couple other signature heroes that I'm spacing on right now. Who?
He plays Weaver.
Yeah, really Weaver has another one. But look out for that guy if you ever see him and they're up against some team foolish enough not to ban the Pudge. Mark my words. We didn't see it once this qualifier.
What team's right now?
Hmm?
What team's Cube on?
Isn't it Goblin Legs?
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Goblin Legs. Hype.
Great.
I don't know, man. I love the idea of the minors. I mean, this is so much fun. We always talk about the same teams over and over again, and like being able to talk about these guys making their way is great. Just really wish it wasn't so insane for tournament organizers to hold a minor. Instead of once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Who the fuck wants to hold a minor, dude? Jesus.
Dota Pit, apparently.
Dota Pit. Just saying. I wish Valve gave a little bit more attention and a little bit more love to the minor system, because it just makes the scene last and grow and so much more exhilarating. Yeah. Right now it's just like, well, good luck.
I'm with you, bud. I'd love to do another minor. Midas mode minor. Let's go.
All right, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Captain's Draft Minor. Let's go. 5.0. I'm into that.
That could happen.
So I want to cycle back, though. Moxie, you mentioned Vegas. They have announced their second Dota event. WSOE is doing, what is it, the Defense of Serenity or some shit? Basically.
Yeah, that's like what my therapist tells me to do.
Dude, so...
You must have a defense of your serenity.
No, honestly, this might be one of the strangest Dota events, I think, ever announced, where they're trying to replicate this UFC kind of style. And the first one was won by the one Chinese team they invited, Team Serenity, who were pretty good. This was back in October of 2018, if you guys remember. So it was a 100K tournament, 2 days. It was a lot of fun in Vegas. We got to hang out with our buddy Richard Lewis. So this new one, let me pull it up here.
Oh, I'm looking at it. The name is Serenity's Destiny. Holy shit.
There it is. Yeah, I knew it was something.
Are they going to kill the team if they lose?
I think so. So check this, right? It's a 2-day tournament in the same studio. They've invited 5 teams. The first day is Infamous, GG&G, which is Ritsu, Suzy, Moon Meander, Boris, Jubei, Team, and J-Storm. They duke it out in some sort of a challenger bracket. Winner of that double a limb between those 4 faces off against Serenity in a championship match that is exclusively on Sunday, which is a best of 7. So a Chinese team that is basically no longer relevant is going to be squaring off against South America or North America's almost finest for a best of 7. And they haven't even announced what the prize pool is, I don't think. I don't see it here on the Liquipedia.
Hell yeah.
So very interesting event.
Mystery prize pool.
So the best part is this event starts in less than a week. Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 13th, is Vegas. So don't know what to make of this one. Looking forward to watching it. I will not be there. I can say that, I guess. I'm confirmed I'm not going. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I want to go. This sounds great. What is a best of 7? I've never even experienced one of those before.
Oh man.
Have you guys seen their other events though? Like the Fortnite one had like 100 players in another city. They could totally host like a real Dota minor in the future.
I'm surprised they didn't try to host a LAN. Like everybody's screaming for NA LANs, right? So if you're gonna throw another one, especially like in Vegas, like I thought that would have been like the prime opportunity to just, it doesn't even have to be a big crowd, just get some crowd because people will pay to be there. Like they really want to go. Last time, I think a lot of people, like I know a couple people tried to just stop by the studio, if I recall correctly. And they were like, get out, you can't be in here. But like they could have made a lot of bank on this if they had just taken a little bit more time and actually done some seating.
But I think the problem is, obviously, they move quickly. I mean, this event was announced like 2 weeks before it was supposed to start. So the last one was I think I was invited 10 days before we flew out or something for the first one. Yeah. So I think they're partnered with that Poker Go studio or whatever, and that's probably why I'm sure there's some economic reason as to why they don't have a venue with people, because that is a pretty nice studio in terms of doing TV level production quality. I think BCOT makes a good point here as well. Serenity also has a much different roster now. So it's not even the same team defending the belt. UFC is great because it's like individuals. You're doing this. Ronda Rousey wins, she's got the belt. That's the person. Teams aren't really the same thing. It's like, ooh, the Serenity brand, they're going to fight for it.
Yeah, but it was the whole idea when we were first there. They said they wanted to have like a challenger thing, like every time have someone challenge come in new, and they did that with like all the other like tournaments that they were doing, because I think they just did a Hearthstone, right? And it was Gia won the first one, and then it was like Gia's Revenge or something, and they had her come back. So like it's just the brand of the tournament where they want to have these like challenger things where they just come back. But Dota is just one of those weird things where it doesn't really work out that way. I don't know how to make it work that way. But I mean, it's more Dota, right? It's more NA Dota. Everybody loves NA Dota.
Sure.
Yay.
I think it's hilarious. Whatever.
And then South America too, get the chance to see the new Infamous roster, like see how they're doing with Skeeter and Beaver. So
I think it's amazing.
Richard's like a great host. I love watching him last time.
I'm excited to watch it. Yeah, I'm sure they'll do something interesting. That's one thing. They definitely step up the production value and try to do stuff that other folks aren't doing and really make a name for themselves. So
like the Reese's halftime.
Yeah, the Reese's halftime. Well, the last one I remember at the end, Richard trying to get them to do the call out like with the translator there, just like, is there any team you'd like to challenge? And they're like kind of talking amongst themselves, like they ask if it has to be a team in China or if it's a team not in China. Richard's like, it could be any team. How about OG? That'd be a really good team to challenge. And they kind of talk amongst themselves again and then just go, no, they do not want to challenge anyone. It's like clearly was not like that. Something was getting lost in translation. That was so we'll see. I think they really did not expect the Chinese team to win. They were not prepared with a good live interpreter. That poor girl. They wanted me to do an interview with Serenity, and I talked to the girl and I said, "Well, do you speak Mandarin?" And she said, "I mean, kind of." I said, "Well, do you know anything about Dota?" She said, "No, not at all." Just like, well, this is going to be really hard because it's, you know, like Life Stealer is little dog, you know, shit like that. Like you wouldn't, it's shit you can't translate. All right, so tell me how Nature's Prophet did in game number 2 of that series. Like, if you don't know what Nature's Prophet is, I don't think that's going to work.
When Little Dog grabbed the golden glove, what? This kid's crazy.
So I made the executive call to cut the interviews, and of course they ended up winning. So that was the final hype moment of the tournament. It ended up being kind of comical, but I'm excited to watch it. It should be fun.
Yeah, I'm down. I like anybody that's trying something new. The pro wrestling shit, let's bring it. I'll take it.
I agree. There's like a whole lot of the same, I think, in complacency in a lot of tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like, you know, King's Cup and stuff like Midas Mode. That shit's just like...
Yeah, more advertising. Yeah.
I feel like there are some of these tournaments you could watch without knowing Dota and you'd still enjoy it. Those are the good ones.
Yeah.
People that like don't play the game anymore, that they can still get some enjoyment out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, people don't like, you know, people watch sports. They don't fucking play sports. They played sports like 30 years ago, you know. Mm-hmm. We need to get that in Dota.
And that's our biggest problem as the Dota scene in general, is that it's like CSGO, you can have that shit on like TBS. You can, well, because it's easy to follow. You want man shoot man. I get it. And I could be like a 60-year-old grandma.
Yeah.
Overwatch tries very hard to have that shit work out, but that game's fucking incomprehensible as someone who plays it.
It really is.
Watch it. But Dota is like, that's our biggest problem. That's why we can't be mainstream, is because you can't go into a Dota game and be like, oh, I understand. It's impossible. So tournaments like this, it doesn't make a lot of sense that fucking Serenity isn't even the same team. But to your average person that's not in the scene, they're like, oh, the defending champions are coming back for revenge. Like, people can get behind that shit. It's good. It's good for us.
It's cool. No, you're right. They are really trying to set up storylines, and that's a huge part of what makes this whole thing compelling. And what makes real sports and UFC and all that other stuff compelling is that they're so good at, like, think about like the weigh-ins, you know, all that kind of shit, all the hype that goes into the fight before that. Esports is lacking that a little bit. I think majors have done better with content, but it's hard. It takes a lot of effort to do all that ahead of time.
That's why I just like that they're trying something new, because like you're gonna have to try things and fuck it up and have it be awful to get like the good stuff. Like for every 10 shitty ideas, there might be one good one. You know, so you just have to try things.
Not at Moonduck. All of our ideas have been great. Elimination mode, captain's draft, Midas mode. Those are all great ideas, Jenkins.
Yes, the Caster's Crucible.
Forgot about
the emergency power panel that saved the Shanghai Major.
Emergency power panel. 4 a.m. I call up everybody at Moonduck on their personal cell phones. Wake the fuck up! The panel's offline. We can steal the show. Put on a suit, Purge. That fucking panel just dead. It's one of my favorite memories, dude. All of us were up in like 5 minutes. The panel's down, we're up. Jesus. Anyway.
That's awesome. That's back when you guys actually tried hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when we were good.
Just kidding. Nice. Oh my god, don't fire me.
You don't do anything. How can we fight?
Shit. Anyway,
those were back in the days before our whole team was demoralized by the outcome of Artifacts. Has anyone talked to Suns fan recently?
Fuck you.
My God, dude, what a sad. I talked to him a few days before that announcement. And he said, you know, I'm really excited. Valve has to do something soon. I'm waiting for the announcement. I know something's coming. Hanging in there. And then when I saw that announcement, I was just like, oh God. I'm gonna send him like a box of chocolates just to cheer him up. You know, send him one of those edible arrangements. Do you see that video he made? The singing song of that was beautiful, but also heart-wrenching when you think about how real that was.
What was that video?
See if I can find it. It's on Dota Cinema, I think.
He made a parody of one of the songs from A Star Is Born, and it's like really sad talking about Artifact.
Great voice, though.
Oh, wait, okay, maybe I saw this.
I was ready to cringe that entire time, and I didn't. Dunstan can sing, dude.
You know what?
Anyway.
What's also impressive, that was only 2 or 3 takes.
Okay,
that's pretty good.
That comes from the soul. Yeah. That's good.
He sings from the soul, indeed.
Was it Nikki's brother who was accompanying him on piano or guitar or something?
Oh, I can't remember. He told me and I forget. I wasn't really paying attention.
Can anybody link the video?
I'm trying to find it.
Look it up.
They post so many videos on Dota.
I know. I'm running into that problem right now.
Don't worry, I got it.
You can't like click far enough over to the right on YouTube.
A Long Haul. That's what it's called. Wow, it really doesn't have that many views. That really speaks to the current state of Artifact.
Yeah.
28K in 2 weeks. Yikers.
Oh yeah, I did see this. Yeah, I didn't finish it. Probably many people did.
I mean, Slacks. What? In all seriousness, what is the deal? I mean, are you still holding out for Artifact? You still living the dream? Like what's happening? Is she dead? She dead, Jim?
Here, I'm gonna go on the record. That's coming from somebody that has loved the game since it first came out. I think I'm literally the last personality that's still playing it. Like actively making content for it. I don't think there's anyone else.
You're making content?
I'm still making Deck Pasitos. I made one earlier this week.
God.
Great one. I watched Deck Pasito and I don't play the game anymore, so.
I said when Artifact's launch happened, I said, okay, there's 2 scenarios here. Number 1, Valve is going to buckle down and they are going to actually work on fixing this thing because it is an embarrassment to the company. And that's very hard for Valve because you have to remember they have like that flat structure. There's no bosses at Valve. So they would have to, for pretty much the first time in Valve's history, they would have to say, guys, we need to fix this. Stop what you're working on and let's fix it. That's option number 1 because Valve hasn't really had a failure before for a company-wide that they had, okay, we need to fix this. Option 2 was they take several months to think about what to do. Then they announce that they're going to do something. And then it turns into Half-Life 2 Episode 3, where they've been heads down working on it for the last 16 years. So I love Artifact. I love the people that worked on the team. I think that Valve personally thinks that, yes, they are going to fix the game and relaunch it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's done. I do not think it will get another update ever, personally. But is that a bad thing? No. I like Artifact where it's at, but that's just me. And I would love to be pleasantly surprised, but they had 3 months to be like, guys, we're going to fucking fix this thing. And it took them 3 months to announce that they are still working on it, which is, I mean, pleasantly surprised me. I would love it. I would love it if an Artifact update ever came. But if you're holding your breath, you're going to die, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love this chart right here that plots active players of Artifact against Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, Shadowverse, and Eternal Card Game. Staggering the difference. I didn't know Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so popular.
No, it really pisses me off.
It could have been good.
No, what fucking pisses me off is that the game is great. The game is actually good. It is so much better than fucking Hearthstone and all this RNG bullshit. And people all said they wanted something without RNG and they wanted to be competitive. And what did Valve do? They fucking delivered it with Artifact. And then you know what got more popular? 10 times more? Auto chess, which is the most RNG fucking bullshit in the world. People don't know what they fucking want. Anyway, God, it pisses me off. But
Artifact has RNG.
It has a fuckload of RNG.
You said it
has
though.
The arrows. That's RNG.
People don't know what they want though. Like if you ever play test a game, like people tell, like you'll get conflicting ideas. You actually can't do everything that people want.
Right.
People don't even know what they want. Like they say they want one thing, but then they play it and they're like, nah, this is fucking boring. It's like, well, you were pretty.
Progress. That's like the main thing. Like Apex Legends is getting boring because there's no progress. Artifact has no progress. You didn't get icons. They're kind of lame. You don't unlock anything, and it's like this game is fun. And then after a while, you're like, well, I want something to help me, motivate me. Like
I mean,
Dota,
that's
we've got like
how-
battle passes or like whatever, but
Well, but how do
There's
people
nothing
not
else.
know this by now? Look at League of Legends. That was the secret to the whole thing. They took Dota and said, hey, let's make people grind to unlock stuff. Let's make people have a sunk cost. You got to unlock these little arcane things and all these other little fucky fucks that help your hero and get to level 30. And you got to... They gamified it from the fucking get-go. That's how they hook people in. Like, how do you launch a game in 2019 and be like, yeah, no, we don't need a ladder. No, we don't need an achievement system. Nobody gives a shit about that. Are you kidding me? There's a whole demographic of people still playing World of Warcraft just because their achievement score is almost maxed out, and they want it to be that 99%. Like, people live for that shit.
People complain all the time about like, oh, I don't want loot boxes and shit. I don't want to like grind. I don't want to do all
Yes,
this.
you do.
But they really do.
Yes,
they
you
really
do.
do.
That's what makes it worth it. That's what makes it worth it, damn, is that it's hard. If he can just hand it to you, then it's not fun. That's what makes the games worth having. You know, that's what makes loot boxes cool, the 1% dice roll.
Right. But
I've never seen you this animated, Andrew. This is exciting.
Dude,
Nice.
I'm passionate
Do
about
more.
loot boxes. It's just stupid. It blows my mind. It's like watching Blizzard have Dota 1 on their platform for how many years? Half a decade? A full decade? And then Valve steals it and they're like, wow, oh, geez, I don't know about that. We're going to have to sue you if you're going to use our idea. That was in our wheelhouse. Like, you guys could have made Dota 2, but you made Heroes of the Storm instead. What the fuck were you doing? It was right there. Right there. Designed on your fucking engine. It just makes me mad to see.
I wish your camera was on.
Well,
I want to
it is
see this
on
rant.
It's
Crazy.
sorry. Well,
It's on the
it's
screen.
a production faux pas.
Gonna watch that.
Anyway.
I digress.
But the whole game model of Artifact did 100% go against Valve's model. Card games, in order to survive, as Mousetrick said, they need updates. They need new innovations. They need, like, every couple of weeks, you're like, all right, where's the new pack? Where's that? I mean, in Dota 2, do you think Dota 2 would ever get updated if Ice Frog wasn't there? We'd see, like, an update every, like, 2 years or something. I mean, it's just not how Valve works, because with that structure, they have to approve everything by everybody. There's nobody saying, all right, this is fucked up. We need to fix it tomorrow. And they move slow. All right, a card game can't work in that environment. But I'm going to buy a shirt that says, I want to believe, and have the Artifact symbol on.
I'm wondering how many people that were like on the original Artifact team or have dipped out because they don't want to be like associated with
Oh, it's got to be a
something. It's got to be a lot. And that's a problem with like a flat structure as well, is that if you can just fucking do whatever you want and go to whatever team you want.
Right.
I thought it was rumored that Garfield's already working on another project.
Oh, he was out a long time ago.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
I
boy.
mean, yeah. I don't know.
Should we move
true.
on? Artifact's dead.
Well,
Artifact-
fuck you, dude. This is a thing to talk about, Mally. Okay.
When you take off that Artifact t-shirt, I know Artifact is officially dead. So
Oh,
never...
I'll wear it every day.
Take it off. Take it
Now,
off.
Jenkins, you're absolutely right. I mean, imagine working in like a supermarket where everybody is equal, and then somebody takes a big shit on the floor. Be like, who wants to clean this up?
Right. It's like
Not me. Like, not anybody. So,
you're gonna go work at the next Walmart.
Pooped in the shower again? Come on, man.
what?
Nothing.
What are you, Mott? Come on.
All right, take it easy.
Oh
everybody.
boy.
Damn, that
Not
went
even
dark
here to
quick.
defend
Secrets of the
himself.
Moonduck house are leaking.
So, how about Mars, though?
It's not all
We
that's
didn't
leaking.
really talk about Mars that
Yeah.
much, and he has come out since the last one. I know Slacks has been spamming the hell out of him, but what about the rest of yous?
I love Mars.
I'm sorry.
I like comboing with Mars.
He's like the most satisfying Dota hero for me. I don't know. I
Yeah.
it's so fun to just like walk up, one hit a wave, drop the ulti, and the spear. Fuck the spear, man. It's like Pudge Hook except good.
Right.
It's great.
I have to say, we're pretty critical sometimes in the Dota community about like Valve and their updates. Probably the most balanced hero that they like dropped, right?
Mhm.
You guys remember when Monkey King came out? Holy fucking shit. That
Yeah.
hero was just uber
Oh,
broken.
okay. You mean like compared to the other like new releases?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
Winter
like Earth
Wyvern
Spirits.
and
I
Earth
agree.
Spirits.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
Earth
think
Spirit was crazy.
I still think he's the best hero in Dota, but like not by a huge margin. Not
Right.
like
Yeah.
not like broken.
Yeah, he's the first new release I've really enjoyed playing. I thought Willow was kind of fun, but usually I'm not a huge fan of new heroes. I never got like into Pango or anything like that, but Mars is really a lot of fun. You get an early deso, you dominate waves, you farm like a madman. He's a good time. Now, it's great when you realize BKB counters his ult, because it looks like it wouldn't. The ult's so big and scary, you would think that you wouldn't be able to run out of it. But that was a great revelation like a few days after he came out, educating in the pubs. Like, guys, just buy the BKB, and it's not a big deal.
Dude, I don't know if when you were casting, you were doing the NA, right, Zyori?
No, I was on EU CIS for Dota Pit.
Okay.
I think Breaky was doing NA.
Yeah.
Okay, Breaky and Donnie. In China and SEA, like everybody's going like second item BKB. It seems like people are just rushing that item. I mean, obviously nothing to do with Mars.
I would say it's more like third item in EU CIS. Still pretty prioritized, but definitely not like immediate.
I'm seeing that shit on trolls and PAs. That shit's coming out second item every time.
I don't think I saw a single
PA. Right.
I think it's like, my theory on it is like there's not enough gold on the map because the creeps got changed, so they give less gold. So by the time you can farm a BKB third item, it's like too late. You've already fucking lost because you didn't have a BKB when people are fighting.
You saw a lot of trolls go S and Y before BKB, whether it's Battle Fury first or something else. S and Y seems like super core on troll.
Yeah, S and Y Satanics like gotta get nerfed. Yeah. That like 50% status resist plus a BKB is dumb. You can't combo. You can't Earthshaker combo somebody before they get a BKB off, or like line with Hex. You just can't combo it. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what though, Omni Knight's a real piece of shit right now.
Yeah. We saw it work in Dream League. The thing is, you have to like build this fucking crazy ass like super Ursa has a blink first item with Omni Knight shit. You can tell them about it, Moxie. You were all about that Omni shit, right?
Well, no, I was more excited because of the fact that like I've seen Tavo play it before, and like he's one of the few people, I think one of the only ones that was able to make it work. I think that was the only time we saw Omni Knight, right?
Yeah, Heavenly Grace is such fucking ass.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it work.
You have to have just like this very particular draft, like Jake is saying, you know, where you've got all this momentum going and that you can keep it up, because the second that you start to fall behind, it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah. God, he's awful.
I think God said it best. Like he said, basically, Heavenly Grace is just like 80% of a repel, because repel used to give you 100% status resist because you just couldn't cast shit on a BKB target. So I mean, the strength is cool, I guess, in the regen.
It sucks.
It's something.
What do you guys? What do you think about this position 5 Abaddon that's been popping up?
Busted.
Yeah. Jenkins called that. I remember we were casting something together. I think it might have been like an ESL qualifier, and he goes, "This guy is going to be just so good because he can spam his miscoil like a Skywrath mage, and you're just going to keep doing it the entire time, throwing shields out, and then you're just going to suicide back." I remember you saying that, and I remember watching it start to happen in the pro scene, and I was like, Jenkins is a fucking genius.
Dude, I've been on the Abaddon train forever. Because I do that sort of meme shit in my pubs. That's why I have a really low behavior score. It's not because I flame people. It's because of that sort of thing. So
what are you rocking, Jenkins? I need to know.
I'm like 9K, which it's not bad.
What?
What's your
terrible?
What's your behavior?
I'm like 9.5.
I don't want to talk about.
I'm a 10. I'm perfect.
On my Smurf, I'm 3K. So.
I was rocking a 6. I just recently got to 7.
Nice.
I took a lot of tech.
Congratulations. You get stuck in the cycle of low behavior score too. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and then the depression kicks in.
Oh. I mean, I win like 10 games in a row with techies, and I look at my reports, and I have 12 reports. I didn't do anything.
Dude, I get the same thing with Pudge, man. That's what I get.
Dude, I just still hear Slack screaming at me about the range creeps.
Shut up, Moxie!
I mean, that should tell me everything that you need to know.
Maybe I am toxic. I'm working on it. Anyway.
You're definitely toxic, dude.
Shut the fuck up.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know how Bernie still plays with you. Like,
because
he's just more serious than you expect. If you think you're going to get happy Slacks, you're wrong. That's all.
I'm there to win, baby.
The moment I realized it was the first Moonduck event we did in Sweden at DreamHack, and we stayed late after hours, and Milton offered to stay with us so that they could keep the studio open, and we were gaming late into the hours, and it was you, me, and Milton playing together, and we had 2 teammates that were really bad, and it was one guy defending the person he queued with, and you said, "What, is that your girlfriend or something?" And I remember Milton being like, "Oh my God, Slacks, you can't say things like that." And you were like, "Milton, this game is over. And he's playing Rubik." And it was just that awkward silence for the rest of the game as we slowly lost the high ground, as Milton and I sat there silently, and you just insulted our teammates for the remainder of the game. And after that, we went home, and that was it. That was how we ended our night at Dream League of gaming together.
And he left Dream League.
I can't be held responsible for how I treat Rubik players. Okay, they're bad people.
Dude. That's a specific type of person that fucking flames the guy that's not on your team. Like the two-man queue. It's like, fuck this guy.
Yep.
You just bottle it up all game, and at the end, when you know it's over and there's no point in like being nice to them, you just fucking explode. You just
That's why
go all
Jenkins
over.
has a lower.
What are you, their fucking girlfriend?
Yeah.
This is why your behavior scores are.
God. Anyway, so what else we got? Anything in the Dota world?
I don't know. I think we got a wrap soon. We got started a little bit late, and some of us have a schedule to tend to, Slack. So,
Schedules. Listen, that wasn't my fault. Last person in here was you, Zyori.
Yeah.
Let's not play.
True. Can confirm.
It's true. You're right. How dare I?
Thanks for the backup team. Hell yeah.
Any closing thoughts? Any quick stories that we got here to wrap up this guy?
I'll tell a quick secret one from Dream League.
All right.
Very quick. So many of you guys might not know how animated OD Pixel can be. You hear like a lot of the casters, they sit down and they're very, it's all from the voice. Not Owen. Owen like stands up and he's like fucking flailing around and shit when he casts. It's really great to see if you ever go to a LAN. But the way Dream League is set up, they have the player booth and then above it they have the casters. A great idea because it's like, the casters are up there with the crowd and it's cool. Not when Owen's in there. It was VP versus Secret, I believe. The biggest match of the thing. Game 3. Huge team fight. Owen is up there just like gyrating. He's moving so much. The entire booth is shaking. And the fucking players on VP, they turn around and they go, what's happening? Like,
They were so pissed.
Shaking. They were
They were
livid.
so pissed.
For good reason. Because it's like an earthquake because OD Pixel's on the top flailing around.
Slamming on the desk the entire
Right,
time.
and their whole booth is like... Anyway, short story. So these things, you can't see them coming, unfortunately. But
So how did they solve it, though? Did somebody actually go up there and say...
calm the fuck down, and I think it's like something.
If you notice, VP never had that booth again after that. They refused, I believe, to go back to that booth. I don't know. I don't know if
OD
that's true or
Pixel
not.
lost
but-
on the major.
It
I'll
is
say
true,
that.
though. Owen does he's got the double legs going, while he's watching the game. Like, you're right. It's all physical energy with him. It's quite impressive. It reminds me of that video from like a few years ago of Cap casting while standing up. That was kind of a top Reddit piece for a little while. Same thing.
Yeah, T.I., he does that
Yeah.
too. Anyway, any big stories? We got anything? What do you got, Mally? Any stories to share of your life?
Related to Dota, or?
You can say whatever.
Yeah, I've basically started starving my son because he can't do the monkey bars. You know what the monkey bars are?
Wow.
Do you know what the monkey bars
What
are?
are you talking about, Mally?
All right, you need to
So
elaborate
do you know?
on this
Okay,
one.
in the playground they got those Moxie, what are they called again?
Monkey bars.
Monkey bars.
Yeah, just little bars across.
So anyway,
You killed Jake.
so
Talk. Explain.
we're going to the playground and we haven't done the monkey bars for ages. My son could like go there and back, no problem. We get there and he just hangs on the first one and just falls down. I'm like, what's going on? And it was like he dropped. Like I was like, holy shit, he's really heavy now. He can't even get across like his little arms, and he just slips. And I was like, this needs to be like, we need to do some serious fixing. So over the last week or two, we've literally like removed everything sweet from the house. So he's actually lost like an insane amount of weight. And an amazing moment yesterday is he actually reached the second ring.
Amazing moment.
So
Well, that's
we
great.
will get, but yeah, we had to starve. I was like, it was like, we were like, I was doing that thing, like never give up, you'll get there in the end.
Wow.
Like, and I started videoing like day 1, first ring, nice one. Day 2, still the first ring. Okay, still the first ring. So I stopped filming. And then he's got the second ring, and I didn't film.
So-
But I hope he will reach the end, and if not, he's going to be a skeleton by the end. 'Cause he's-
Well, it's not just about his weight. It's also about muscle. Get him some, do some pull-ups. or
yeah,
something.
we did muscle like gym. He's like got
Okay.
tennis camp this week to
That's
like
good.
train his arms. But it was like serious. I was like, oh my god, we have to do something. And I was telling other parents like, Lawrence, the monkey bars are not very important. I was like, yes, they are.
No, they are.
The monkey bars. They say no. I said, exactly. Your kids can't do the monkey bars.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Dude, my girlfriend told me that in Korea, in gym class when she was in high school, they had like just the one bar to do pull-ups. She said 90% of her class could not hang on the bar to support their own weight for more than 1 second. 90% of the class would fall within 1 second of trying to do a pull-up, just an immediate fall. What kind of a gym teacher are you at that point? You're just watching 90%. All right, well, next.
Well,
Well, you know, I had to just get back to... And then I asked about it, and she was just like, well, you know, we did do study hall a lot more than gym class. I'm like, yeah, balance goes a fucking long way.
Good job, Asians. Way to break those stereotypes.
90%.
Oh, I have another story. Actually.
All right.
So my son is like quite good at maths, and I get up late, and my son wakes me up and tells me when I need to take him to school. Okay, this happens every day. He's like, Dad, time for school. Tells me if I have time for a shower or not. It's like, no time for a shower. Get downstairs, take me to school. Okay. Get downstairs, start tying my shoe. And he's like, Dad, I learned something amazing. I'm like, I'm ready for it. Tell me. I learned the first 100 decimal places of pi.
100?
Yeah, so the first thing I just said was, why? I was like... and then he's like, why? I was like, okay. Anyway, it's like, and then... After school, I was like, oh no, I need to fix this. So and he told me. So basically now he can do like 200 decimals of pi because he's watching this Child Genius thing. But yeah, I was just like, why? Why?
Nah, man, you water that seed. You water that seed, man. That's a good seed.
Yeah.
That is not a good seed.
That's
that
a good
reminds
seed.
me of a tale. May I tell a quick story? I ever tell you guys about the talent show that I won?
No.
All right. Quick story. So I'm in college. I'm an RA. I was a resident advisor for 5 years. And one of the other dorms is putting on this talent show. And they are like the nerdiest story. It was like the engineering quad. So they didn't like have any idea what was happening. And they actually put it on the World Series, the one that Colorado was in.
Okay.
So it was the same day as the World Series. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, holy shit. Literally no one is going to go to this talent show. I could just do whatever I want. I could literally go and I might be able to win it because who's going to fucking go to the talent show in the World Series?
Oh, God.
I show up to. There's 5 people total. And the grand prize at the time was a Nintendo Wii when it first came out, when they were like super rare. They spent like $1,000 on this fucking Wii. Anyway, we go there and the competition is so not stiff. One kid goes up there and he goes, hello, I have passed out sheets into the audience. There's like 8 people in the audience, by the way. We all get a sheet. It's a piece of paper with a bunch of numbers. And he says, in front of you are the first 300 digits of pi. I will name all of them. 3.148276. And we were just sitting in the audience like, what? He did it, though. The whole sheet.
Please tell me that's
Wow.
kid 1. Now my son has a future.
You know what shit? He wasn't even in the top 10.
But what
out
did
of
you
7
do?
people. Oh, me? Oh, God. I went up there and I did the air trumpet. And
Oh.
I won. There was like 2 people. There were supposed to be 3 grand prize. It was Wii first place, PS4 second place, and then like
Oh, wow.
a gift card to Chili's third place. And I went up there and I did the fucking air trumpet, and I was like, "You guys ready for Star Wars?" The crowd's like, "Yeah." So I fucking lose to this guy who actually ended up going on a Colorado American Idol. American Idol came to Colorado, and the guy who won the talent show went there. He's not a gamer at all. I don't know why he went there. He got a PlayStation 4, and I was like, bro, I'll give you $100 for that PS4. And they just came out, and he's like, how much are they worth? And I'm like,
$100.
$100? And he goes, oh, I'd love the cash. I just fucking walked home with a Wii and a PS4 for doing the fucking air trumpet.
Nice.
Thank
Dude.
God. So, Lawrence, I hope your kid grows up to be the pie guy. So I can go. I want to go up against him. It was great.
Oh,
He's probably been practicing all morning. Can't wait till I get up. Come downstairs. Don't get it done. Dad. Dad's gonna be really impressed. I learned pi.
Also, for the first 2 years that I knew Lawrence, I thought his child's name was a different name. So that's another
Good job.
thing. Liam. With the stupid accent, he's always like talking about his son. And he's like, oh, me and my son Liam. So I meet him for the first time. I'm like,
Oh,
what's
no.
up, Liam? And he's like, my name's Leo. What's that? Leo.
Super awkward. It was really awkward.
oh
there you go.
God. All right. Well, thank you for that, Slack. It's a great way to round
Yeah,
out
you're
the
welcome.
episode. Okay, cool. So everybody, that's a What the Duck, our quarterly What the Duck now. See if we can get another one in sometime, before TI. That'd be cool. We'll see you next time, I guess. We're going to talk about Midas Mode soon. Keep an ear out. We've got big updates coming for Midas Mode. Getting close to like actual announcement time in the near future, so teasing some announcements, but stay tuned. We're working on it, I swear. Midas Mode 2's happening.
Taking up all my fucking free time. Hope you enjoy it, Dota community.
Yeah.
Hope you die.
Yeah.
Bye.
But we'll see you next time. If you joined us late, you can find it on youtube.com/moonducktv and audio only at moonducktv. Bye-bye.